Hello, everybody. It's Steve Wilson, and my special friend Bruce sees all. Hello, Bruce. How are you for our Tuesday night session?
Not bad yourself, Steve.
Doing fantastic. What we were just talking about, guys, before we got on, we were talking about this much ballyhooed video by Tyler over at Secure Team, talking about a channel that was deleted over a moon video. Did you see this, Bruce?
Yeah, I did. And when it first came out, I saw it a couple days, I think, afterwards. And yeah, hey, that's incredible. So I don't know. It looks like it's displacing something. Is this, Steve? Do you know if this wave? Are we seeing the same video go by,
See,
or is
that's
it?
the big
Were
controversy
there
right
several
now, right?
waves?
So here's the
Right.
story, guys. If you haven't heard the story, let me tell the story a little bit and set a little context. One of the old time, I think, really is in your genre. I would say Crow 777 is a space photographer, and he has done several short clips, videos, whatever, of the moon and other objects in our solar system. And I think you're kind of a fan. You were a fan of him, right? Before they shut his channel down, right?
Absolutely. Everyone heard about him. I mean, his name was everywhere, and a lot of people were suggesting me to go see him. I didn't see all of his work, obviously, but hey, always beautiful images, videos, and Steve, you know what size his telescope was?
No, I don't. I think that he was working with a 4 inch.
Wow, and I believe it, but yeah, wow, clear, absolute clear image. Look at that.
Hey, remember we were talking about this crater last time we were together, or the two times ago. Remember that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The,
this is the one that's got that star-shaped.
hey, don't move, don't move, don't move, Steve. Steve, look where you are right now on the video. Move your eyes to the left. You see where the sort of circle-ish objects to the top left there?
Up in here.
Actually, I wonder if I can you see my arrow?
I can't, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, you're right on it. Go up. There you go. To the right. Yeah, right there. Okay, underneath you, you see two circles, symmetrical. Anyway, that's where all the bridge-like objects are. This is closest to Earth. This is near the bottom side of the moon on the right, and you could see so many structures there. It's up. See, yeah, those are symmetrical. There's two right there. They're gonna pop out. It sort of looks like Batman eyes or Robin eyes, a mask.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, that one and the one underneath. And the one over top that looks like a number 6 or a 9 does sort of the spiral, and it goes down. And the clearer it is, you could even see it here. It's blurry, but it goes all the way down that straight symmetrical line. It's,
Like right.
all over the place, eh? I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no. Gosh, Bruce, you know what? That's why we love you, man. We want to learn more from you about the moon. We want to learn more about celestial objects. We want to know when we're looking at, Alpha Centauri, or what we're looking at, and you help us with that. So,
It
um,
takes long for your eyes to
but
adjust.
check this wave out, though, Bruce. Have you ever seen anything like that in your observations before?
Something similar on Venus, but never that thick, never that apparent. No, nothing like that. It is so straight. You know what? Oh gosh, I don't even dare say it. It looks like I mean, it's so straight, one end of the other of the moon, and it's like a television screen. You just
Look at
see
this. Look at this. It did come off. By the way, it did extend past the moon. Did you see that?
it did, eh? No, I
Yeah.
didn't. Oh
Here,
yeah,
let me run it again.
yeah,
Watch.
please, yeah,
One more time. Right when I get to that stop, I'll try to stop it.
yeah, yeah,
He's gonna
absolutely,
go down. He's gonna go down, and then boom.
yeah. It arrived. It arrived on the bottom craters, and it's coming downwards. So it's coming from Earth. What? I don't know. I think that's absolutely incredible.
Hey,
Did
while we're just looking at the moon. Speaking of the moon, guess what, everybody? We have some great news. Bruce, why don't you tell us what your great news is?
Would it happen to be the telescope?
It would be.
Yeah, we got the telescope finally. The community raised it, and it's a $10,000 telescope. It was 11,005 with the taxes. With the camera I put on the back, we're up to about 12,003 now with the T adapter coming. And now it's ready to be used in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, because it was Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving late, Steve, in America, but there was no work and we couldn't call. So here I was a sad Canadian wanting the holidays to finish. I ordered it Monday. It's going to take 2 weeks to get the cables and everything. I found out I could do F2 photography also, Steve, with it. It's a CCD imager, literally F2. I'll say it quickly. You compress the photos. By compressing the photos, you get a clearer image. So basically, silly me, I was doing it something similar, because that's what I'm doing is I'm compressing everything, and I'm getting a zoom up on. I'm not hiding it. I'm zooming up on the compressed photo and showing it wide. So sometimes it could be a little blurry, but it's a lot clearer. Most often, you can see more structures and stuff. This baby can do it, and with a DSLR in the back of it, I can't believe it. I regret not trying it on this one, on the one that I used, the 4-inch. Well, it's a bit more than 4 inches, Steve. I think it's about 4.5, but it's really not wide. But with a DSLR behind that would have been absolutely amazing. Like maybe Crow was even using that, you said. We're not sure, but I think if he was, I believe it, because using these machines to the maximum potential is incredible. The cheapest Astromaster, $200, $250, Steve. The photography is amazing. The clarity, the contrast, and so much definition. I didn't understand that the bigger you get, the less definition you have,
Mm-hmm.
Except for this one. This one has a lot of definition. It's an HD. And you know what? It costs $1,000 more, Steve, American, to be able to get the HD. If not, I could have bought for, I think it was $8,700 or $9,000. I could have got the 1400 without the HD. But now we're talking definition. I would have probably regretted it, And I'll show you an eyepiece, Steve, just quickly. Do we have time?
Oh, absolutely. That's why we're here. We're celebrating your new telescope, man. We can't wait for your discoveries.
I appreciate it, man. And your community, so many people are coming by. I appreciate it, Steve. And you know what? They're curious people too. That's what I want. I want people that are curious and we don't know what we're looking at. I'm not smarter than anyone, but I'm able to capture things in the sky. And I say by showing the world, one smart person is going to come on and say, hey, that's that. And it might prove me wrong too. I don't want to be wrong. So when you think of it, I don't know if you can see it well, Steve. I think you can, eh?
I can see it perfectly, brother.
Look at the size of the eyepiece. And this is a luminous eyepiece, but I don't want to I love the company I bought it from, but they didn't give me the diagonal, so I can't use it. I can't put it in the back. I had to order that too. It's a diagonal, it sits upwards. I'll show you where it goes later. It sits upwards so that you can look downwards when the telescope is up, so that way you can look at it. It's luminous, so the minute you go over the moon, you'll get a big light there, and you'll be able to, but it's the moon. I just grab the moon and boing, I point right to the moon, I did that with the constellations too, eh? I didn't know how to look for stars, and I had the camera, so I knew one constellation, Orion. And I started reading up online and trying to pinpoint the stars, and I was able to get the stars, But it's not always easy. I'll show you the DSLR, Steve, real quick, just to give you an idea. I had an amazing option that I didn't have to buy the lens that was on the end. So I bought it. It's a real DSLR, but here you can see that it's $125 without the lens. So this will be actually, this ring is what I ordered, the T adapter. It's going to set it up on that at the back. And you have a lot more functions than a solar imager. My solar imager is really regular. It's very regular. It's you can't do nothing. You can only film with it, and you can't really zoom up as much as with this one. More contrast, more definition.
Wow, and guys, I just wanted to point out that Bruce, it took a while for him to pull the resources together with that. I just wanted to thank all of you guys that donated to Bruce and are helping with him. But he's going to need more equipment, so make sure that you just pop him a couple bucks, man. You know what I mean? Just help him out. He's using it all for the equipment and all for the study and to help us all get smarter, right?
Absolutely, it's all going for equipment for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of smart, weird, strange, I was looking at your big surprise for the channel, the Crescent Movement of November 24th. Can you just tell me a little bit more about what's going on in this video?
Absolutely, Steve. You play a part, or you want to play a part, or which part
Yeah,
exactly?
I'm gonna go ahead and play. I'm just gonna blow it up so that it's full screen. Can you see it okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great.
Okay, I'll start right about here. It feels right to me.
Right.
And of course, right when we want to do the key moment, we always have a glitch. It's just normal.
Always, always.
There we go.
All right. So you're looking at a real live footage of the moon that I took, and I put another layer in front of a simple reproduction that I did, an illustration in front of a real footage. It's rarely heard, but it's real footage with fake footage in front of it. And it's just while I was talking on the video to give people the impression and the feeling that we're hovering over the moon and that we're approaching the moon. I've seen a couple of angles on the landings and stuff that NASA furnishes, on the arrival, the smoke, the light and dust. I find it helps me think, but it was just an illustration. But like I said, people get mixed up because it really is the moon that I was filming in back, with my solar imager. So this is with the P900, Steve. But now let me tell you something, buddy. You see how we don't see that one wave or line, but while it's playing, you see how it is waving or oscillating. It really does look like the line that went by, but it sort of looked like there was a line, but in reality, all it was doing, it was oscillating, the same way. But it must have been going pretty fast because we could see almost a black line, right? Like it
That's
was.
right. There was a very distinct. It almost seemed like it was a glitch in a matrix or an image.
Well, you know why I think that? I think I was feeling lightning's going to strike me. Wavelengths, wavelengths, different wavelengths. Uh, with our eyes, we're supposed to see clouds. That means that our eyes won't distinguish the wavelength, but it's going to try to do it. And what it's going to do is you're going to get this oscillating effect. And what reminds me of what we see, the white domes or circular spheres on the moon that oscillate. When you look at them, it looks like smoke is hovering, The
Yeah,
smoke space is supposed to stay in a pocket. So I wonder at times, I said, or we say there's a haze on the surface, but if there wasn't not an atmosphere or oxygen, there wouldn't be a haze, there would be pockets. Seemed to me you would see one mass of smoke oscillating and burning off if there's a little bit of oxygen. All you need is, a little bit of oxygen. I'm going to turn that off. I'm very sorry, Steve.
no, don't worry. We'll just
Oh,
pause until he gets his phone call.
they thought of it. They remembered.
So what are some interesting, what have been some, kind of interesting things, and we can just talk through. You don't have to like pull up images or anything like that right now. But what are some interesting
That's
things that
great.
you're hearing or seeing right now?
Go ahead. Come again. Sorry.
What are some interesting things that you're hearing about in your network these last couple of days? Have you heard anything interesting?
Yeah. Well, it's all these anomalies in different countries. There's sightings, but I am watching for earthquakes. My love for earthquakes. I've always been very concerned about the big earthquakes, and it led me, excuse me, it led me to watching and informing myself about those volcanoes. I am looking. There are a couple of volcanoes that are active, and it boggles me. Why don't they talk about it?
Well, there you go. I think the Bali volcano is the one that comes to my mind, and I actually just had a video or a web page up about it, and it's
Yeah,
causing huge disruptions right now.
that's unreal. And all these things are happening. Oh, this is Clavius crater, by the way. Greenery. Greenery on the surface.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, you've had your education helped me so much. I actually have people asking me questions about the moon now, right? Like I know anything, but
Yeah, yeah, me either. When you think of it. Well, I learned from my photos. In reality, it's helping me learn about the surface, and I'm trying to find a proper way of filtering. It boggles my mind. We all know what pixels look like, man. And when we look at the surface, blurry or not, we're looking at, okay, all those lines, by the way, is my monitor. Like the ones that are side by side, all the lines, say to yourself, that's the veil that's showing us underneath. So we can see what's on the surface in my photo right now, but we're seeing all those lines. I know it's annoying, but it's because we're close. And you see I'm zooming up there closer again. So what I'm going to do, Steve, is I'm going to get a monitor that doesn't have that effect or with those lines, you know. I'm going to have to check those out. Those are all things I'm going to have to do, but most of the monitors have them because we're looking at squares of pixels, right? And each pixel has so many colors on it. And if we're in 4K, each of those squares have about 4,000 pixels. So that's why we're seeing the lines on the screen. But look inside. Do you see the drip there? I call it a drip. Inside, yeah, perfect. Right, yeah, over that, look at the little smudge over top, Steve, the line, the white line on top of it. Keep, like in the center, right where you are, bring your arrow upwards into the box and look where it joins. Okay, right, that area there. Every single crater or structure has that drip, I call it, or corridor. It's always dripping to the center structure. And I believe that there's definitely tunnels in there or something. It's hiding. You see the connections to all the craters. I'm not kidding you. They're so apparent all the time. You see this, you know, and look at here, the straight edge.
Well, let me make a point. Like, you study the moon, okay? You really have studied it, and you're actually seeing colors like purple and green and yellow.
Absolutely.
And last time we talked about the reason that we don't see that with our naked eyes because the light is too bright. Right? So the sun just blots it all out and we can't see anything. But when you use your techniques, and you guys, you got to check his videos out, man. Don't just watch this show. This is just to give you a sampling. You got to go check this out. Most people don't look at the moon for more than a minute if they look at it at all.
It's boring. Right? It's gray. It looks gray, right?
Right.
Like, that's right. We see it gray, but in reality, even here, you pause it at a really oh my gosh, you pause it at a nice place. Wow. Okay. Top center on the way down, whether it be a lava tube or natural, you could see it coming down. Move to it would be your left, I think. Yeah, there. From bottom to top, goes to a supposed crater. And they say sometimes they look like they're not inverted. It looks like they're outverted, because of the optical illusion. I do believe maybe it could be sometimes, but not all the time. Like if you look at this, sometimes it really looks like a mound. But they say that they're craters that have depths. But I don't know. It doesn't match. The shadows do not match. Look at the objects on the bottom. This is what 90,000 of these are on the moon, Steve. To the left, big crater on the left. Right at the bottom, you see a white circle of the big crater that's on top. At the bottom, you see a white circle and a little sort of tunnel-like object that leaves.
Right here.
Now, on the top left, sorry, Steve.
Top left, got it.
Yeah, right there. Go to there. You're on one right now. You see how it, like, sort of a circular with an anomaly leaving? Well, now go right, bring your arrow straight down, and there's another one right at the bottom of the crater. Look at that one. You see a white, that round is interesting, eh? But under that, you see the tunnel-like or straight object that goes to another spherical or white object. Well, these go into the craters. I've seen at least 100, and it's on most of the craters that we all see, but we got to get in pretty close. This is pretty close. It's about at 700 millimeters, I think, or 750 millimeters.
Yeah.
And it's so bright, Steve. You know, the light is so bright, but when you clarify the light or get through it somehow, like I'm able to filter through it sometimes, you see this, because usually there's a bright light here. We don't see the surface. And whoa, I mean, lava tubes, maybe some are lava tubes. I admit some do look natural, but it's the way they're placed. It's a total set. It looks like a total setup. It's ridiculous.
I'm not buying it, man. I don't believe. First of all, well, okay. You know what? I don't know is the real answer.
Me too.
What I have, my theory is that everything can't be a lava tube, man. It's not that geoactive up there or lunar active. There's not like constant volcanoes happening on the moon, where maybe it did at one time. Maybe that was when it cooled, I guess, or something
That's
like
right.
that.
Now, don't forget, you got lava tubes that are turning at 90-degree angles angles and going up and down and over mountains and going inside the ground. So get this, I found it so funny that these lava tubes, I said, they look like tunnels. I said that a year and a half ago, Steve. And NASA decided to build a base in one of them. It's literally what they're doing. They're saying, you know what? They're hollow. Yeah, you're darn right they're hollow. They're also inhabited, probably. Or maybe they were, you know. But you know what? Another thing, maybe they're archaeologically visited by other species or by us, you know?
Right. You know, let's spend a minute on that, and then we'll let everybody back to their night. But I was looking at this, like, I look at a feature like this right here, this 90-degree angle right here, right?
Right.
And these are the things that you're teaching me to look at on the moon now. It's like, there's no, how would you get a 90-degree angle in a, like that? Do you have any idea?
Exactly. Well, yeah, by excavating, probably. And not just that, maybe they build the mound with whatever they're pulling out. Imagine if all these mounds are objects and the crap that they're digging out of the surface of the moon, and the minerals, all these lines that we're seeing are probably the rocks all being, this is a gold mine or something. You know, I stay open-minded. If we just think that they're aliens, we're not going to find anything, you know, when you think of it. We have to stay open-minded. It could be anything, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? Let's speculate, because it's fun. And this is all speculation, you guys. I'm going to take Bruce into the rabbit hole with me here, okay?
Oh, so, absolutely. It is speculation. I have no proof at all that anyone lives on the moon, or I've never seen a craft leave the surface of the moon. You know that? Never. I've only seen them hover over it, but they never stop. They go right over it, you know. Some of them could be satellites, but it's getting obvious. They look like watermelon seeds. They literally look like watermelon seeds.
Oh, Bruce, I wish I would have had this teed up. I just got a video today of somebody that was doing they had you know, similar to your binocular viewing. It wasn't, I don't think it was a 700 millimeter, but it was something in that range, right? And they caught things going back and forth across the moon, I swear to God. And
that's incredible.
Unless I was getting punked, it really gave me pause to say, what the heck, right? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I keep getting, thanks, Steve. I keep getting them blurry. My first UFO sighting, I was so happy. I posted it. And here you can see the UFO go by like this, because I was shaking. But they're all natural instances. If I would say, hey, watch this, a UFO, and then you see everything still, and then you see the UFO go by, it doesn't mean it's fake, but it's, my goodness, imagine the chance. Because these guys, we think that they're hiding. I don't think so. I think it's that we're not seeing them, you know? You know the NASA one, or the video, the space video, where you see one of the astronauts where they're looking at an object leave the moon? Sort of like a round object?
Yes.
Yeah, well, couldn't that be a craft? For example, we're still speculating, right? Couldn't that be a craft, for example, theoretically, leaving the moon and not charging up and not being seen with light? And that when they charge up, they're actually, say, I don't know, 20, 30,000 feet over the atmosphere of the moon, and then they'll charge up, because we never see the lights on the surface. And when they're going by, they don't look lit up. They look dull. They're gray, they're black. I've seen a black one. That's scary. Completely black, and it looks like you could see through it. You know? But again, is it our eyes? Is it actually dark matter? Could that exist? Imagine that, dark matter crafts. That would be pretty scary.
Well, you know? I've always, and I'm going to bring up a theory for you to just give me your feedback on. And again, we're just speculating and we're having fun, guys, because this is how we learn, right? I mean, we just come up with ideas, and they might all be crazy, but
yeah, we need fun too, you know.
Yeah, I know. And we
got to get the brain going. We got to get the brain.
Got to get it going, right? And that's one way to do it, is to speculate and just come up with science fiction-y level stuff, right? But I've always believed, and this is just me, that the current epoch of man is not our first epoch. In other words, I believe that there are several epochs, and epoch just means an undefined amount of time in my definition, okay?
Yeah.
Right? So in the current epoch, you might say it starts in Samaria, the first written records, Phoenicia, Samaria, and then off into history that we know, written history that we've captured. And I feel like the most recent epoch is since the flood, the Great Flood. That's what my belief is. I base that on the work of Graham Hancock and Gordon Randall and other people that are far more expert than me, okay? But is it possible that we got to the moon in a previous, like pre-flood time, that we had the technology to get to the Mars, to the moon, that it's not aliens at all, that maybe we already got there before, but we forgot the knowledge? What do you think, Bruce?
That is one of my, do you see my light flickering for some reason?
It is.
Well, my light's not flickering. The screen's flickering. There's always something. Anyways.
Just ignore it.
It's not there. There's nothing is happening right now.
Right.
Just repeat the question.
I'm having a big goiter on my neck, guys.
I want to answer this properly, Steve. Repeat it, the question properly.
So again, I don't believe, I'm not a big believer in the alien theory of moon, excavations, structures. Might very well be the case. I've always been a believer that man, let's say pre-flood, Atlantean times, when we have very little record. We have this amnesia. We have a collective amnesia. We can't remember anything past 15,000 years ago. It's almost impossible. We have no recollection.
I got you. Yeah, listen, same here. And you said it at the beginning too about the Mars, for example, the planet or any other planet. Exploration. When we think of exploration, we're automatically fine-tuned in our heads to say, whoa, massive, advanced, intelligent technology. No, I think they were more advanced in the days on one thing, and that was definitely chemistry and physics, right? They invented it. And kids, 15, 16, 17 years old, were at home doing speculation. They really were. Theories. They were trying to build things and invent things. I mean, when you think of it, going to space, floating, all they had to do is float, right? Maybe some died, but 10,000 years ago, somebody going to the moon, I don't think that's impossible at all.
So just as one theory that we explore, we'll explore other ones as we continue our Tuesday nights with Bruce Sees All. Every Tuesday night, Bruce has agreed to come on, and tonight's a big celebration night for us because he just got his telescope on Thanksgiving. Woo! Even though he's from Canada. A close look at some of the moon shots that Bruce has been doing. And we're going to ask the question next week, is the moon artificial or is it a natural object? Bruce?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Steve. And I will get some clear images up. I do have some blurry collections. I love them. They're so hard to see the surface, some of them, but I will get some really nice surface images for you and your wonderful community, Steve. I don't know what to say. I really appreciate connecting with you. Why? Because you're showing so much of what others are getting in the sky. And you know what it does? If more people do like you do, is that instead of having information all over the channels and everything, it makes pockets of channels that people can go see 30 or 40 or 50 channels just by going to see your channel. And way more than that, because so far, I don't know how many, you got to keep up. You're doing a lot. That's pretty amazing. And look at here on the bottom, Steve, the crater where the white thing is in the middle. Oh my goodness. I want to show you just this. I have to. Right there. At the bottom of this crater, look at the long snake, very symmetrical angle right at the bottom of the left crater where it has that white spot on it. At the bottom of the crater, you see very clearly a line, S-shaped line. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. And I just can't put my arrow over it because otherwise it makes my thing pop up.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's the crater that's completely on the left side of the image. You could clearly see it at the bottom. It goes down, it turns, right over your arrow there. Right over top, keep going up. You can see there. Look at that. An S-shaped, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It turns 6 or 7 times. These are pipes or tunnels for sure. It has to be bringing some kind of a liquid. And if it's a lava tube, it sounds silly, Lava tubes aren't that symmetrical. Nothing's symmetrical like that, especially not if they're pouring molten lava out of rocks.
Let alone the dome structure right there. Look at that dome.
There you go. Yeah. There's so much. It shouldn't be there. It's amazing. Do you see on the top now, Steve? I call it the bone. On the top, it looks like a big dog bone that's covered up. It's a white, flat, rectangular, long sort of shaft. It's to the right of the big crater. And, ooh, I think that is Archimedes' crater on top there that we can actually see. Yeah. Wow. So that means, or maybe it is, yeah, right over your arrow there, you can see a white rectangular shaft coming down to the top of the photo. It looks like it's covered. Yeah, right there. And it looks like it's covered right there. Yeah. You know, and this is one photo. And now I'm seeing another one to the left of the crater right beside you. There's another symmetrical.
Look at this. There's tubes that come off of this crater.
Yeah.
This looks like it's a walled fortress right here, with a wall and another parapet, if you will.
I'm going to show you one last. Steve,
we can spend days just looking at a few photos on the moon. It just doesn't ever end.
No. But you know, the one on the left that we just looked at, look at the bottom right there. Pause it again. I'm sorry. Look at the bottom, almost on the left where I showed you the crater with the white spot in the center. Yeah, and the S. Keep going down, Steve. Exactly what. Keep going. Yep. Keep going. Stop right there. Look to the right of your arrow, or to the left on your side. To the right, sorry. Yes. And it goes to a dome, and it leaves another tunnel structure. Do you understand that it's so small? Not small, but it's so far away from us seeing it that we don't pick them up. But it is very symmetrical and curious. And again, it's going right into the crater. You can see it go right into the crater. That dome and tunnel-like structure. Again, could be just speculation, but I don't think it's normal. It doesn't look normal. No. We're intelligent enough as humans to know that those objects are not normal, you know, by looking at them, just by common sense along me.
Oh, check this out. Daytime UFOs.
Daytime UFOs. This is crazy stuff. Steve, this was when all the action was happening. The massive coronal ejection. I was going to get it 2 days after this. And so was NASA and scientists going to talk about it. And you know what? They're going by darn fast. And I did not see them. I can't get over it. This is slowed down. This is slowed down 500 times, and it's going, I could hardly get it to slow down. And it was so close to the corona. It looks close. It could be millions of miles away. In reality, imagine that. It could be hundreds of thousands of miles away from the sun, but still.
That would suggest it's moving faster than the speed, near the speed of light then.
That's right. But do you see that? I got it spiraling. So I took pictures
tumbling. Bruce, it's tumbling.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to see that unless it's close, but you can see it. And I took pictures. And you see the stream at the back when it goes by the sun? That's why I thought it was close. Watch it when it goes by the sun. You see it at the back, it has a white trail or something. And we're pretty close here. So, of course, you're going to see, some pixelation in the back. I could clearly see it. But that asteroid or object, boy, you can see it. But you see, we're seeing it white. It's not white, probably not, but it's on fire. So our eyes are seeing a white flash because we've seen the white spectrum of the light. But you start filtering it and looking at it, like the one I showed you a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago. Some of these look like they were in a cauldron boiling for years, and they're all full of different colors. Like, when you're welding and you hit the heat too close to the metal and it starts making rainbow colors on the metal. That's what asteroids look like. And imagine, I found out afterwards that asteroids are basically metal. It took me a while, and people go, not rock, it's mostly metal. It's like, we weren't told that. You like that one? Isn't it beautiful?
I do. I love the moon. I just love the moon. I just love it. Yeah.
Type in a picture or something. It's green. You can see it not very well here, but I'll show you in a picture next week. It's green. Something coming out of the center of it, and I don't think it's a tree. I think that's some kind of a pipe. But again, the color that we're seeing, is it green? Could be blue. We're seeing
but I mean, what would cause obviously this object right here is casting a huge shadow, first of all, right?
Yeah, triangular shadow. The spheres has a triangular shadow. That's normal.
Yeah, that's all normal. Everything is good. Well, Bruce, you know, we can't wait for these new discoveries with your new telescope. I'm so happy for you and happy for your work. And
Thank you very
is there
much.
anything that you wanted to leave the audience with at WSO, something they should check out on your site, or anything cool that you would point them to?
Well, you're talking about the website or
The
the
YouTube
channel?
channel? Yep, yep.
Yeah, well, on YouTube. Well, you see, if you really are curious about the work, you said it before, I have some nice things in the constellation of Orion, and unknown celestial objects that I name as unknown planets, and I got a good 20 or 30 of them. I maybe posted at least 15 or 20 of them. The moon, stars. Thanks, Steve. You're actually helping me. You know what? Do you know that sometimes I sit down, I look at the page, and I go, "What? I can't get over it." You know? Hey, Steve, scroll up just one more time. Can you scroll down again?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more. Okay, that object right there that basically looks like a flower on not the last bottom row, but the second row. Yeah, right beside you, the second video. I'm not going to get too much into it. Just to tell you something, though, I bought some space books recently for about $100, and they're showing images of planetary nebulae. I believe, and I'm not certain, I think this was in Virgo. And I think it's like, I was wondering what it was, the red dust. I'm seeing similar photos as to what I'm catching in these space photos, and I'm astonished. Like, almost all the objects I'm catching, I'm finding some names in the book. So slowly I'll tell you about that. If I find any changes, or if I was wrong, or if I find something else, I'll tell you about it. So basically, Steve, thanks a lot.
Oh
I
no,
can't.
you're coming back every Tuesday, and we love to see you growing. Guys, go subscribe. Bruce, get his numbers up so that so that he can continue to do his work. And man, Bruce, I just love you, brother. I can't wait to have you on again next week and see more of what you're doing. And stay in touch, guy.
Thanks very much, Steve. Hey, Steve, I'm on the sun. I'm every day. I've been only doing a couple of hours, but it's not flaring, but it's reacting up this week. So to be continued.
You got
We'll
it,
talk,
brother. Take
brother.
care, man.
I love you, man. Take care.
Take care.
See you, bud.